Hi guys. So I know I would have introduced you all to the beginning of my Mounjaro journey on TITRATE, and the branded version of course being the brand Mounjaro. And I would have explained to you that I started my journey towards my controlling of my diabetes as well as my obesity at a 2.5 milligram dose. Now, while I started there and I'm now in week 6, this is not a teachable moment. This is more so just me chronicling my journey through Mounjaro to where I'm at as at today. So I would have done my 2.5 milligrams of tirzepatide branded Mounjaro, and I did my first 4 weeks on 2.5 milligram, and I would have lost within the first 4 weeks rather, a total of about 11 to 13 pounds. Don't have my notes with me, but I think that would have been about it. And at the end of my 4 weeks, I decided to try TITRATE. I think that's the word. TITRATE up. Yeah. Which is pretty much just saying I decided to increase my dose from the 2.5 milligram to a 5 milligram of the drug. Now, why did I decide to titrate up? There are 2 reasons, but the main one was because what I noticed happening after week 4 was that my appetite suppression was becoming less and less cogent. It wasn't holding me in the same way that it was in the first, say, 2 weeks. So I'll give an example. Like, I took my jab on a Monday, and usually for the first 2 weeks, my appetite was suppressed right up until the next Monday for me to take the second jab. But then by the time I hit week 3, I realized that I was getting the hunger pangs, and the food noise were coming back maybe at about, say, Thursday of the week. So 4 days into week 3, I started to feel the hunger coming back and the food noise coming back, and everything started to just, was pretty much luring me to want to go back to eating the way that I was before. So I spoke to my doctor, as I mentioned, and I always had conversations with him on what is happening. So at that point in time, we both came to the agreement, because of course I could suggest, but if it wasn't within my medical required timeline or time frame for titrating up, he would have clearly said no. But I was within the required time frame for titration, which is 4 weeks after you started on the lowest dose. So I was right there in terms of the medical requirement. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that once you hit the 4-week marker that you automatically titrate up to the next dose, because if your body is actually functioning in week, say, 5, or in any of the weeks leading up to the requirement for titration, then you don't need to. You can just continue on your 2.5 milligram as long as the appetite suppression continues and the management of your blood glucose continues. But as I said, for me, by week 3, I was noticing by the Thursday of every week, having taken the shot on the Monday, I was feeling the hunger pan. So we both agreed that I would titrate up to 5 milligrams. Now, I'm currently at 5 milligrams in week 6 and have not had the need to do any further titration. I don't think at the end of week 8, which would have completed my total 8 weeks on the drug at both doses, that I would need to titrate any further, because the next titration amount would have been 7.5 milligram. Now, there's other reasons why people titrate up outside of having the hunger pans and all of that. One of the reasons is that I can recall being a reason for going up on a dose is if there is the feeling that you are not able to lose the amount of weight that you want, your desired outcome. Now, while for me that is not a reason enough, meaning you have to look at your body mass and then look at the percentage weight loss that is associated with that, with your body mass. So for example, the standard is, in order not to lose muscle mass, you really should not try to lose more than 1 to 2% of your total body mass composition. So if you find yourself titrating up just because you're not losing the weekly weight loss that you think you should be losing, and that's your sole purpose of titrating up, then I would say be very careful, because then you run the risk of also losing muscle mass, and you really don't want to lose muscle mass as a result of you titrating up to lose more weight, because it's counterintuitive. So I would say, as far as titrating up is concerned, do so if it is that you really are feeling the hunger pangs, if they're coming back, and you really want to benefit from the dose that you're on maximum without any desire for food or the need to feel like you want to eat something additional to what you've already consumed. So that is just my little tidbit reminder. And also, I observed as well another side effect that happened or has happened on the 5 milligram that I didn't make note of before, was the potential of having hair loss. Now, I don't think that has happened to me yet, but I do believe that I've heard persons speak about having hair loss on titration from one dose amount to another. So that's it for now, guys. I just wanted to jump on here to give you some additional information on my first week 6 of Mounjaro, and where I started, where I'm ending up, and what is the expectation for titration. So we'll talk again. We'll see how today goes in terms of the consumption of food. It is now 1:33. Still not hungry. Had a little soup, but that was about it. And my appetite suppression is still good. Doc checking with me today. Have no reason to feel like I need to up my dose by the end of week 6. So we'll see each other later on today.